Hi everybody, this is Grandma Money again. Today I'm going to show you something that you may not have ever seen before. The only reason why I have been interested in it is because one of my ancestors, my great grandmother, made them, and here's what she made. It's flowers made out of hair. So these are flowers from my ancestors, her family members, and she had the red hair. So I learned how to do this from somebody that was doing it at a museum, and here's some examples of some that I've done. There's my hair on the top there, and then my daughter's hair down below. Here's one that I made that's got a big variety of design, with hearts, and some of them are kind of crazy looking leaves and things, and little puff balls. So these are some examples of some of the things I'm going to show you how to do today. Here's one that I am in the process of making. It has my daughter's hair when she was growing up. And then here's a little hair bow that I used to wear in my hair, but my hair's kind of short now, so I don't usually do that anymore. So the things that you'll need for making this are you need knitting needles, or you can even use a pencil. But I use knitting needles of varying sizes depending on how big I want the leaves to be. So let me show you some examples of different sizes. So this has a bigger knitting needle than this one. And this one has a very small knitting needle that was used. So you need a knitting needle. I'm going to use a big one today. Probably this one, so you can see it better. And you need some wire. I use 28 gauge wire. And I'm going to pull off probably about a foot of wire. I pull off two pieces. It's not really crucial how long they are, but you want them to be long so that you can wrap them after you're done onto each other or onto something, depending on what you're making, of course. So I kind of straighten that wire out so that it's somewhat straight. And then I take the ends and I put them together like this, and then I take some pliers, or these, I have some little clips here, and I grab the wire about 3/4 of an inch from the end, and then I take the wire and I make a T out of it, and I just twist like this. This way it goes together and makes kind of a little straight line there. So then I'm going to take the hair, which the hair can be cut off of somebody's head. It can actually be hair from your hairbrush, although I don't really recommend that because it doesn't come out as nice and it's kind of a pain. Anyhow, plus it's probably kind of nasty. Anyhow, you take the hair that has been cleaned and is nice and smooth and straight. And here's my hair that I have, and I've wetted it a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier if it's wet, then it's not, the little hairs aren't flying around. So I lay this on top of the wire and I hold it with my hand, my fingers like this, and I'm going to hold the hair and I'm going to wrap the wire around the hair one way and then wrap it around with the other wire the other way a couple of times so that I can secure it to this wire. So And it's kind of tricky. So I've got it secured so I can pull on it and the wire's not going to come, or the hair's not going to come off the wire. So there we have it. And we're going to take this and we're going to tape it onto the knitting needle. Now you don't want to be too far from the end, but you want to be far enough from the end that you know that wrapping it a bunch of times, it's not going to come to the end of the knitting needle. So this is a pretty long piece of hair, so I'm going to put it way down here and I'm going to tape it on that wire, on that knitting needle. With just a little piece of tape, just to hold it on the knitting needle. As you can see, I've had some on here before. So I'm going to tape it on there. And so now I'm ready to go. I've got wires coming out on both sides, and I've got the hair. So I'm going to take this hair and I'm going to wrap it around the knitting needle. And then I'm going to hold that with my finger. And while I'm holding it with the finger and I'm holding the hair with this hand, I'm going to take the wires and I'm going to cross it on the back. Then I'm going to wrap the hair and cross the wires. It's a little tricky to hold it all. Now you don't want to put the wire around the knitting needle. It's only going to go back and forth across the hair. And you want to do it with the same one going over the top each time. So you wrap it around and you put, I'm doing from right to left and then from left to right. Right to left, left to right. These wires keep getting curled up there, so I got to straighten those out. And what it's doing is it's creating a little design here on the edge. Actually, this isn't my best work at this time. I think it's because I haven't done it for a while. So and you have to be hanging on to this hair back here all the time and holding on to this hair up front all the time so that it doesn't get loose in your hands, because hair can be kind of slippery. And it takes a little practice to get it looking nice and even and smooth. And the longer the hair, the better, most of the time, because you end up with a longer piece. All right, so I'm going to stop here, even though I've got a little bit left here. It's a little thinner than the rest. And what I do is I take this wire and I put it down with the rest of the hair. And then I take this wire and I just start wrapping it around. So that I have it secured like this. So there it is. It's not a perfect one, but that's how you do it. So then I'm going to take off this tape, which sometimes is a little tricky to do. And I'm going to put my hand all the way over this and hold it and slide it off. If I don't do that, it might smush up together. So then I'm left with this bunch of loops like this. See, here's another one that I've done. And I'm going to show you different ways to use this that is done here. You can make it into a leaf like this, or you can turn it the other way and make it into a leaf like this. Or you can wrap it into a flower. So to wrap it into a flower, you take your pliers and you grab it by the short end. Kind of bend that down a little bit, grab a hold of it there, and you just twist it around. And this takes a little practice as well. And once you've got it twisted around where you want it to be, then you grab hold of it like this. See, I've got a little flower there now. And then you take one of the wires and you wrap it. So there I have a flower. Now there's different things you can do. For one thing, I usually trim off any errant hairs that are sticking out. And then you can also put little beads in the middle. You can put the needle up there, put a couple beads on there, and then put it down and tie it down here. The other thing I do is I use floral tape. I cut it in half and then I wrap it around the stem. And oftentimes I'll make a little thing like this where I've wrapped the stems, and then you can just poke it in the bottom hole there. I also sometimes use little leaves. As you can see with this one here, I made a heart shape out of it. You can cut it all the little loops and make a puff ball. There's lots of things that you can do. So I hope that this will inspire people to do this. This is a kind of a lost art. You've probably have never seen anybody do it before. So please give it a try. You just need a knitting needle, some 28 gauge wire, a little bit of tape, some kind of pliers, either those or these kind, and some hair, which most people have some hair. You can even do it with hair that's like 6 inches long. You can try adding on to that hair. It's just a little trickier to do that. Um, One time I even used some bunny fur from my daughter's bunny rabbit. So there's just endless things that you can do. So I encourage you to give it a try. And please like and share and subscribe to my channel and pass it on. Thanks.